And I think anytime two guys fight, someone they both have a chance.
Yeah.
And I felt that Mayweather was gonna control and dominate.
Yeah.
But Conor definitely had a puncher's chance early.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how the fight went. I gotta say I was surprised by how well McGregor did.
He looked. I mean, you know what I like about it, and I'm going to tell Jimmy too when he calls in is beforehand. I seen like some of those sports shows when they have those little round tables, and they had all these boxing guys on, and they were so damn smug. Chris, the producer, they were just so.
100%.
Oh, we all know it's a spectacle, and the guy, if he's lucky, if he lands he's not going to land one punch, and it's going to be a shutout, and so it was different than that. I like that. It was different. I mean, Conor did show that he looked like he belonged in there.
He won the first 3 rounds.
100%. 100%. I couldn't believe that he was actually countering Mayweather. He hit like some really nice counter combos right off the bat, and it was tough.
A beautiful uppercut. I don't know if that was the first round. Or
Yeah,
the
like,
second.
I think it
like
might
a
have been
right
the
uppercut. Yeah.
But
second round, whatever.
I mean,
yeah.
but you seen him land that same uppercut in MMA. He has a way. He really. I was waiting. I thought maybe Floyd would come out like aggressively, just try to show that he doesn't belong in there with him, And he did fight towards the end like that, but I didn't know he'd be so. I like in the very beginning when he was defensive. He's usually defensive, but I was waiting for him to come back. I don't know what the numbers are, but he hardly threw any punches that first round, Floyd.
I think it was 4 or 6 or
The hell
something. I said, yeah.
That's unusual, no? I feel like we should save a little bit of this for Jimmy.
Yeah, for sure. Let me get him.
Get him on the phone while I catch up with Ricardo. We got the very funny Jimmy Norton calling in from fucking Iceland. Jimmy?
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Jimmy. Jimmy,
How are you?
we got Ricardo Almeida, my good friend, in studio with us. Henzo Gracie
Hey,
Black
Ricardo,
Belt.
how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jimmy? How's it going, man?
Good, good. I just wanted to call in to make sure that they know I'm still alive, because if they really like you, they might fire me and have you and Matt do it. So.
No way, man.
He's looking pretty comfortable in here. Jimmy, I miss you, pal.
I miss you too, man. I hate that I'm away for the first podcast after the McGregor fight. But I'm sure you guys covered it already.
No. You know what? We started to open up that little can, and then I shut it and I sealed it. And now I'm ready to open up that can again because you're here. I wanted to save it for you because we started to talk about it, but now let's start talking about it right now. Give me your thoughts, Jimmy Norton.
Thought was nobody saw McGregor going into the 10th round. I don't think any of us saw that. At first, I'm like, all right, McGregor has a real shot at winning. Did you think he won the first 2 or 3 rounds?
Of course.
Yeah, definitely.
But then I think kind of Mayweather won every round after that.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Mayweather looked bad, and then when he starts turning it on in the fourth, you're like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He can throw fast punches whenever he wants. It's fairly effortless. But I'm telling you, there will be a rematch. Floyd said, this is my last fight ever. Shut up, Floyd. It's not. They're going to have a rematch. Conor, they felt that they stopped it a little too soon. He got into the 10th round. People will pay for a rematch, and they'll pay more. Here's what I thought about the fight. I thought McGregor was excellent. But the thing he does where he's putting his right hand out, instead of throwing a jab, he's doing like that thing that they do in mixed martial arts where you measure distance with that, which is great in MMA where you can grab and you can hide a kick behind. But he wasn't throwing a very fierce jab. He flicked the jab a couple of times, but I think that he kind of limited himself because he's just got this one arm hanging out there and he's loading up for the left, and Mayweather kind of knew he only had to watch out for one thing. And I think the ref was being very tolerant because McGregor hit Mayweather in the back of the head about 40 times. And the ref kind of, I think, knew it was his first fight and let him do it. So people who were like, he counted him out too soon, I think the ref was pretty good, and I think he gave Conor a lot of leeway. And he got between him and he warned him, but he didn't take a point away for hitting in the back of the head, which I was pretty impressed with.
Yeah, I mean, those were some hammer fists, in close, that are just really, instinct, in MMA.
Yes.
To just pound on somebody's head whenever it's right there. But, and you saw, he said he was wasting some energy taking his back. Literally, he'd, go to his back a lot in that clinch, and he's like, what? And then afterwards, I saw in the post-fight thing, he was when he was talking a post-fight interview, he was saying, he was wasting some energy with that. And that happened to him again. And he brought this up, Conor. He brought up how in that second Diaz fight, how he was getting It looked like the fatigue set in. Looked like he was done. He weathered it, and he came back. And that happened in the third round of that Diaz fight, I believe. And he came back for the fourth and fifth and actually got a second wind. So it would have been I don't think it's a bad stoppage at all. And he wasn't complaining at the time. But, with everything on the line, I don't know. I mean, maybe let him kiss the canvas. You know what I mean? I think that would have been a little bit more, of a concrete ending. But it doesn't look, hey, listen, the guy's stock does not go down at all. Nobody expected him to do as well as he did. And another thing, I was saying this earlier, I seen these shows leading up to it with these boxing shows where they have these little round table meetings, and these pompous assholes are just, listen, we all, like, they're having fun with it, but they're like, oh, well, we know what this is. He's not going to land a punch. He'll be lucky to win. He's not going to win a round. It's going to be a shutout. It's a joke. And suddenly it wasn't such a joke. And he was in there. I do believe that that Mayweather did have that plan of exactly what he was talking about. I don't think you'd know from his father between rounds. Whatever the fuck. Right. He's funny. You got, do what you want to do. I don't know what the fuck he was saying. Fucking what? I didn't know Customato. But I don't know. I think they had this shit worked out ahead of time. What round did he catch him? He caught Mayweather with a good left uppercut. Was that the first or second round? Second round? It was either the first or second, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and it was beautiful. And people saying, "Oh, well, Floyd was just, bringing him along." I don't think he was planning to eat that.
No, it took him a big change in his game plan. He was trying to stay on the outside and kind of throw that lead right hand. And when McGregor started countering him, it took him like a round or two to figure out. And he started just kind of walking in with his gloves and stuffing the power of the punches. It was really like a masterpiece, I feel, tactically and technically by Mayweather. Just too much experience, but I thought Conor did amazing. I never expected anything like it from someone coming from the UFC, and that's Mayweather. It's like the best ever we're talking about.
It looks good. It looks good.
Conor was so great. Oh, sorry, Matt. I was so impressed with him. I mean, it's funny. But my favorite moments with Conor is like when he lost to Nate Diaz, and then when he loses. And he talks and he does an interview, you're like, oh my God, I love this guy. Like, he just handles it so well, and he's such a dignified guy about it, and he gives props to the other guy. And I thought it was so much better than I anticipated it to be. And I watched it at a bar in Iceland at 5:00 in the morning. Oh, wow. And if they had a rematch, I would definitely buy it. I'm all in with this. I was really, really impressed and surprised with how well Conor fought. I do think he needs to work on that right jab, just because he's got to give Mayweather a little bit more to worry about, being as fast as Mayweather is. But I think Mayweather's full of shit if he says he won't fight again. I think for $300 million, he'll fight him again.
You're saying that Conor McGregor handles his losses better than, say, Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Ronda, and she's also a lovely person.
I love Ronda. I'm not being a prick. I'm just saying she's not a very good loser.
You're right. She ran away from it. It's like you can't run away from it. So that's like me. Every time I lose an erection, not talking to a person again. You got to take your losses like a man and apologize.
Hey, I tried a new cocktail, but I'm gonna save that for off air, Jimmy. I'll tell you. Jimmy. I'm winking right now. Listen. I tried a new one. I think it's called the Rhino. I'm gonna tell you when I see you. But let's get back to business.
Please do.
Now we're talking about.
That's more important.
Yeah, it is.
More important.
I know. It's nothing like a good cocktail. Ricardo's just staring at me at this point. What's up, Chris, the producer?
I was just going to jump in. Hey, Jimmy, how's it going, man?
Hey, Chris.
I have the scorecards, which was kind of crazy to me when you look at it. One judge gave Conor the first 3 rounds, which I think is fair.
I like him.
The other 2 judges gave Conor only the first round and then gave Floyd the rest of the fight, which I think is
Well, that's what's wrong with boxing. Boxing stinks, and I think the first 3 rounds. Well, what did they have it at? They had it like 87-82, if I'm remembering correctly, and the one unofficial one had it something like 85-84. But to not give Conor those first 3 rounds, look, Mayweather is, again, masterful at not getting hit. He's great at putting his gloves up. Like, Conor threw a lot of punches that just literally hit his gloves or his forearms, and that's what Floyd's great at. But to not give Conor at least 2 of those first 3 rounds is I think, boxing being a little too protective of itself.
I agree.
Yeah, hey man, all I know is I'm not a huge fan of boxing now. I was back in the day. I enjoyed the hell out of some good fights. Not only just the Tyson era, but the Hagler Hearn fights and even like Leonard and Hagler. Like I enjoy some classic stuff. I had a lot of fun with this fight over the weekend.
Yeah.
You asked me about the undercard. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a big fan of the boxing, but I enjoyed the hell out of this fight. I really did. And you're right, man. Conor, after the fight, by him just being like, I like that he brought up, do you think I got strangled on TV, live TV? He's got the right attitude, man. And it allows him to be relaxed in there. I think it really made, because they kept saying, like, this is what I heard them saying, these boxing experts before the fight, that it's going to be great for boxing because they'll see they'll see how much more technical and the boxers are compared to how sloppy the mixed martial artists are, even though it's a boxing match. That's what their points were. But Conor looked like he totally belonged in there, one of the best ever in this sport. You know what I'm saying?
I think these boxing guys are just trying to
incredible.
protect it, Like the boxing guys just try to protect boxing, Like the reason why it was huge back then is because everyone thought that the best fighters in the world were actually boxing.
Yeah.
Now people know that the best fighters in the world are not boxing. Like you could take
right.
Mayweather and he won't last not even one round with a mediocre, 155-pounder from the UFC, and that's just the reality,
Yeah, they don't have a great track record.
This is an amazing thing for MMA, I think, for Conor. Because I hate it to be corny and say, but everybody won on this one. Like Mayweather won the fight. He obviously was the better boxer. I mean, it was very clear. But Conor has a tremendous amount of dignity, losing the way he did. He did not quit. He didn't get knocked out. I mean, it was a ref stoppage. So there's always that question mark. Hey, how would he have been in the 11th? But I think this was just such a great thing. And the fact that he kept taking Floyd's back made me laugh. But that, again, like you said, that instinct where you're in a fight, like hitting in the back of the head, you're in a fight, and all your boxing training is kind of hard to prepare you for. And what did Mike Tyson say? Everyone has a plan so they get punched in the face. So it's just one of those things where you're in a fight and you throw a punch to the back of the head. But I thought it was a great, great night, man. It's so much